And good afternoon and welcome everybody. I was waiting last podcast you did it with me.
I know, but I wasn't going to do it this time.
We are coming to you live from BLG Studios numero uno, for those of you that habla Espanol. Episode 12 of the White Chocolate Podcast. I'll be Dirk.
I will still, this time, I'm going to still be Will.
That's not very original, but okay.
I know.
Our goal this week is to entertain you to the extreme amount.
Degree.
We are going to be so entertaining this week.
I don't know about that.
I don't know either, but you try to front sell it.
I agree.
That makes them. You see, if you tell them you're going to be good, they're going to believe it.
They will.
Yeah, you guys didn't hear that.
No.
Part. Anyway, just so you know, we are 1 minute and 17 seconds in. So I don't know. I'm just kidding because we argue about time.
Wrap it up. We're done here.
Short week. We're very busy.
Yep.
Actually, we're not very busy. We're getting close to the end of the school year.
Thank the high heavs.
And that's not even one of our topics for today, but my goodness, it is. The kids are getting crazy.
Yes, and it's just tough.
We are excited about giving them a chance to go home, play outside, get some of this energy out. Because they're...
Stay away from me for a while.
Anyway, and we're going to make some switch-ups. We don't have a blackmail segment this week. We're actually going to do bullet points to open the show, which are just kind of some random thoughts that I had. And these are things that don't require a lot of discussion. They're just kind of weird thoughts that pop into my head from day to day, and I make a list. And when I get enough, I like to throw them in.
Things you've noticed.
It just helps me. There's sort of like, what the heck? And weird things that I notice, very weird. I'm going to admit now, it's going to make me seem kind of odd, but little idiosyncrasies, things that I notice that just...
These are things that improve your day, or things that just you... Just things you noticed?
Just things I noticed.
Okay.
Just things I noticed.
Fair enough.
But also, there is no official feedback, but we did talk to some people about some of our segments.
Yep.
So this week, we're going to experiment with not doing, and I'd be happy for anybody's comments to get more people, but just by word of mouth, we kind of heard people, by the time they get to the end of the podcast, they sort of... The news miscues doesn't always hit. They say some of the stories are really funny. Others, they are kind of sad, and they just don't kind of get the point of it.
Right.
So we're going to try to not do it every week now.
Okay.
And we'll close with like a thought or a quote of the week, or just something motivational, something just a quick, funny hit, and then get out of Dodge after segment 4. So we'll change it up a little bit and see how things go.
Yep.
All right. So segment 1, bullet points. As I'm setting up for the podcast, I was reminded of this one. I love when you plug something in to charge.
Okay.
And you get some sort of reaction from the item to know that it's locked in. To know that it's actually plugged in.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
So for example, I love when you actually plug something in and it clicks.
Okay.
I don't like just the
example.
It stopped. Well, for example, when I plug in the microphone Bluetooth piece into my phone.
You hear it audibly, or you can just feel it click in there?
I can't. So I don't like that. I want to hear, I want something retention-wise. When you push it in and you feel it like pop into place and you know it's sort of locked in place.
Understood.
Like when you have those little lanyards that they give us, and they have the little plastic thing with wings on it, and when you push it in, it click out.
Okay.
You know when it clicks.
It's secured.
Or when you charge your phone, you push it in and you get the little you get the little haptic feedback. You get that little vibration, and it lets you know.
That's a good vibration.
It's a great vibration.
Marky Mark, even.
Beach Boys, but we're different eras. We did this once before.
Did we?
Same song. I forget which podcast, but we both did the same thing.
Wow.
But anyway, the point is, now we're repeating ourselves. We've run out of stuff to talk about.
Let's wrap it up again.
Podcast 12. So I love that. I love affirmative, like,
action.
It's in. Fine. I even have white cords.
Okay.
So
excellent.
Anyway, so that's number 1. Number 2, accepting expensive presents or gifts. I'm not good at that. I'm not sure how people accept. I'm not good at accepting any gifts.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Even when you
maybe not on the podcast, but just betwixt the two of us.
Correct.
We've talked about it.
When you offer to buy me lunch, I have trouble with that even. And you do it frequently. I'm selling you out here because you're a generous person. But you'll offer, hey, we're going out for lunch out. And I was like, yeah, here, take some. No, I offered. Oh, I got it. I always feel like we should keep it even. Like I should offer, and I don't go out for lunch. I usually pack my lunch, but I'm not good at accepting. So the reason I bring it up, I had a friend of mine. I won't mention his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he's been a good friend since high school. Charlie. Yeah, Chucky. Charlie called me and said, hey, I know it's your birthday. I had my 50th birthday, right? For my birthday, my wife took me to Nashville.
Mhm.
And the whole time I was there, knowing that I'm a music teacher and that
Yep.
he was a musician as well. That's how we knew each other, through
Gotcha.
band. And he said, I loved it so much. And the whole time I was there, it was kind of like what you said when you went to Montana. Dirk would love this.
Yes.
And he said the whole time I
would.
was in Nashville, I was like, man, Dirk would love this.
Right.
He said, for your 50th, I want to take you to Nashville for 3 or 4 days.
Oh, wow.
I'll cover the airfare. I'll cover the hotel. You just have to pay for food, drinks, and whatever you want to do.
That's generous.
Now, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not saying any names. My friend had his own business and has since sold his part of the business.
Okay, so
Continues to work, but I know based on what his plans were
doing all
that
right.
he's probably very comfortable
Sure.
at this point.
Yeah.
I know that this is not a burden to him,
Right.
but I still had to say, I can't. So I don't know what the trick, not trick in a bad way, I don't know what the trick is to being comfortable accepting gifts from people, because that's tough. That would be a few $1,000 gift.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I even said, being as big as I am on airlines, sometimes you have to buy an extra seat. He's like, I'm prepared for that. Nope, I thought about that, no problem. You know, I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't let somebody buy me plane airfare 2 ways to Nashville and back and pay for my hotel. I just wouldn't feel like I couldn't enjoy it. I would be too uncomfortable.
I think that's fair. I think the smaller things maybe
Yeah, I could do better
you
with.
could probably do better with, but I feel like that's a.
I don't know what that hang up is. Like, why is it hard to
feel
let
bad
people
about it? Do you just feel
guilty? Like I could not reciprocate that kind of a gift. And I know that's not why
I'm talking about the smaller things. Did you say white people?
I hope I didn't.
I thought you said I think that's just white people.
Why people?
Oh, why people?
Yeah.
I was like,
Did you really think I said
I
white
really
people?
thought you said
Okay.
white people.
If I did, it was a Freudian slip. No, I'm
Okay.
kidding. I think that's why people, when they offer me things, it's very hard. I'm also not good at accepting praise. Like after concerts, I don't stick around where the audience is and
Hang
my
out.
parents take pictures. Oh, it
Right.
was so good, Mr. K.
You don't need a lot of.
I sneak down the back.
I think you and I are alike with that. We don't need the
Like
glory.
if you coach a good game,
Don't need the glory.
You don't stand around and wait for the audience to come out of the stands
Don't
and
need
praise you and thank you. I feel uncomfortable with praise.
Gotcha.
So I don't, whatever that means. Are you similar? Dissimilar?
I think I can accept smaller. I think I can accept smaller things. I don't know if it's as difficult for me as it is for you.
Yeah, I don't know why it is.
I'm not sure.
Because we both grew up similarly without expensive lifestyle. I mean, we both grew up with what we needed, but not a lot of extras.
Definitely had what I needed.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. Anyway. All right, number 3. Our third thing on the list. I know I'm not. Mom, I know I'm not. So just get this straight now.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like I must be smoking pot.
Okay.
Sometimes I think I must be smoking pot. I'm not right now, am I? I'm not. Just make sure. Here's why, Will.
Okay. Hit me
When
with
I
it.
drive home, I'm a windows down kind of guy.
You are. You always have the.
Unless it is very hot.
I was gonna say even sometimes when it is hot, I see you with your windows
Yes.
down.
I love moving air. Love
Okay.
the air. Maybe flashback to the motorcycle days. Love the wind in my face.
Fair enough.
Every day on the way home on 355, I feel like I'm smelling pot from somebody driving in front of me.
Okay.
I think it's just that because it's being relaxed, because it's being more acceptable in society.
You're finding it in more places.
Everybody's smoking pot. Everybody.
Pot here, pot there, pot everywhere.
And at some point I realized, is it me?
Is it
Do I smell of pot? Because everywhere I go, I feel like I smell pot these days. But I know it's not me. It's not me, Mom. Just letting you know. That's one thing I can say. Never did. But I was around enough people.
You know what
I know
it
what it smells like.
Of course.
Yeah. As a musician, I've been in that.
I hear
Been
you.
around those people.
Gotcha.
All right. Air freshener in the bathroom, Will.
This might be a little bit of a hot take if you're going where I think you're going.
So at school the other day, we were testing last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. There's a faculty bathroom right outside the room where I was testing.
There is.
I went in just to do some simple business, just very simple.
Yes.
A proverbial number one.
Number one.
Someone had been in there and had done the old number 2.
The old
number 2.
Oof.
Old. O-L apostrophe.
Oh,
Not
okay.
old
I
number
was
2.
gonna say.
The old.
Okay.
Old number 2. So I walk in and I'm getting an appreciable leavings of fragrance,
undesirable.
You're right. But then I'm also getting this fruity, rosy, floral smell because
Okay.
there is one of those spray bottles of air freshener.
Poopery?
Well done. Is that a real
That's
name?
not. Yeah, that's a.
Oh, I don't
My
know the brand.
brother-in-law has poopery in his bathroom.
That's nice. I didn't look to see
I
what flavor it
cannot
was.
take credit for that. I'm glad you appreciated it.
I
Though.
did. It was well done. You could have fooled me,
I could have.
but you're not that kind of guy.
I'm an honest Abe.
I don't know if the floral poo smell, because it's now a common. It doesn't eradicate the
No,
poo
it's
smell.
just
It's sort of
trying to
masks
mask it. Don't do that.
But of all the words,
I know.
mask. I don't know if floral poo is a better stench than just regular poo, because you want to like it at that point. You're like, oh, that's a really no. And so it kind of fools your nose. Your brain doesn't know whether to go, oh, that's a nice smell, but it's still not a nice smell.
Pungent. So is it just not being sprayed enough then to cover up the odor?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not
I don't know.
arguing.
Can
I'm
it
just
cover?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I've sprayed enough to. I don't care.
I've never used spray
really.
at our house.
That's why because I don't care how mine smells, so I don't ever spray.
Yeah, we don't ever use. We don't. I mean, in our common bathroom on the first floor, we don't really. I mean, But anyway, all right. So I don't know. Leave your comments. It's orange poo, floral poo, like whatever all the cover-ups.
It's a little bit like my mom used to get mad at Dima. Instead of showering,
Dima got mad.
I know it's right. After you shower, not what I meant to say. After you sweat, instead of taking a shower, you just whole Axe body spray all over. No. You're just masking. You can still smell onions. Yeah. It's just they're a little bit better smelling.
My dad used to call that a Marine Corps shower.
Okay.
Like it was just you wipe. He would wipe if you were on vacation.
Right.
Wipe the pits, wipe the face, and go.
You're good.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. On a car, some things we need on cars as I'm driving. Number one, we need a froster, a window froster instead of a defroster.
Oh,
no, we need the froster.
You need the froster.
Mostly on the rear window.
Okay.
I'll plead my case.
Here we go.
Driving down the highway, any road,
right?
Dark outside.
Okay.
Person behind you has those
high
bright
beams.
Well, not even necessarily, because some of these LED front. Yeah,
I just mean like they're. No, I don't necessarily mean the high beams. I mean they're just very bright.
They are, and especially I'm in my car, which sits low. And
right.
say you got to pick up, and it's one of those new Fords. They have the really bright LEDs.
Anytime you look in the rear view, it's. Yeah.
And I don't have an expensive car that has the auto dim feature, so it's full and you're getting it two ways. You're getting it. There you go, Susan Austin. Get that face.
Yeah.
You're getting the rear view. You're getting the side view. Now you can alter them,
sure,
of course, but then when you need to look, it's not lined up where you.
So the froster does what?
Frosts your rear window, blocks that light from hitting your rear window. Cuts out all the light through your rear view mirror.
Okay.
Just a froster.
Okay.
I don't need that bright light in my face.
Okay.
I did a little I don't need that bright light.
Well,
in my face.
Couldn't it just be like a shade that pulls down, or
how would I reach it from
just hit a button?
It could be like in a limo where you push the button in the little divider. I'll take that.
Okay.
Also, from the tail of my car or the front of my car, we need little boards. I feel like this would solve so much road rage.
Okay.
We need a little LCD board that can pop up either out of the hood, or out of the trunk,
right?
That you can put a message on, like, I'm really not trying to tailgate you,
right? But
please move over. I'm late to do this.
Sure.
I feel like if we could communicate better, or maybe an in-car Bluetooth where you can connect to black Toyota. Hi, do you mind if I get by you? I'm running late to pick up my kid from the bus, or whatever it is. I feel like most people at that point, rather than you try to give them a message by getting a little close, or people that flash their lights and the other person gets indignant about where they are, just some way to pop up and say, thank you for letting me in. Thank you for letting me by. Some way that we could communicate better. I feel like in this age, we should be able to do that.
Okay.
Proximity.
A couple quick thoughts.
Okay.
I think the Bluetooth idea better than the having to type and then read as you're driving.
Yes, you could do it voice, but then it's going to get messed up.
Okay.
Because voice to text is terrible.
Never works. So that was just my quick thought on that. I think we should go with the Bluetooth idea.
And you just speak to the person.
Patent it right now.
Whatever it is. And every car can come equipped with it. Now, I'm sure some people would abuse it.
I would.
Get out of the way, you.
Don't do that.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything,
Okay.
but you know, I mean, some people are going to use it for bad stuff, and they could invade, but you could turn yours off. I guess you'd have to be allowed to turn it off.
Okay, so everybody would just ride with it off then.
Yeah, you're probably right. Nope, they're leaving it on.
Okay.
Factory. From the factory.
All right.
All right. Anyway. And then the last thing. About 2 weeks ago, maybe, 10 days ago, got in a minor accident on my way to work.
What's up with us?
Don't know.
And the accident's on the way.
Don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you had a little...
Fender bendy.
And that's all mine was. He literally bent my fender.
Okay.
On 2 places on my car, actually, because he pinched me against a jersey while we were in a construction zone. But anyway, the square version of the story, not circle.
We'll see. We'll just see about that.
He was driving like a maniac. I saw him fly up on people cutting in. I had gotten around him.
Hate it.
I do too. First thing in the morning too. 6 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing?
People I can live without.
He's in a pickup truck. So I was in the left lane, in the fast lane. There's 2 lanes going through this construction zone. I had gotten in front of him, like he was back. I don't know if he slowed down or what, but you know, traffic moves and you kind of lose track. Sure. But I was in the other lane and I had distance and I had forgotten about him.
Right.
All of a sudden, I see him flying up in the lane beside me and past me just a little bit, like he's a half car in front of me, right on the bumper of the car in the right lane. Like I honestly thought he was going to crash into that car.
No,
he didn't. Thank goodness. But then he just decides to make a left-hand turn into my lane. Now, I got a jersey wall on my left. I can't go anywhere. Right. I move over as far as I can, but he ends up
pinching
me. So he hits the front of the car, which turns me a little this way.
Sure.
I have to correct. When I correct, the rear of the car sort of fishtails out and hits the wall. So I got damage right front. Anyway, he arm out the window, irate already, right? And I could tell this is already by the way he had been driving. This is not a guy
not going to go well, right?
So I wait till the construction zone's over. I pull over on the shoulder.
Sure.
And he pulls in behind me.
That must be nice. Mine didn't pull in behind me when he hit me.
So that's a good point.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So he pulls in behind me. Now, this is sort of a low rider truck. So it's an old truck, but he obviously has put time and effort into it. So, and he gets immediately, door flies open.
Yep.
He gets out, arms flailing.
Yep. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, I'm just going to be quiet.
We just did flailing.
I know.
Again.
I'm sorry.
That's twice so far.
I won't
we're
do it
only,
again.
well, I can't tell you how far in.
Don't tell me.
He comes up to the passenger side of my vehicle. I lower my window. I already called the state police because I'm not going to get out and deal with the guy on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
So, and we were right next to the state police barracks. That was off that exit.
Okay, so they'll be there.
They'll be there close.
Shortly.
I wind my window down about 2 inches, and he walks up on the passenger side, and he's like looking at Michael. What are you doing? I said, state police are on their way. This is what he said. 25-year-old white dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give an F who's on the way. You hit me, N-word. He was obviously very confused.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe
I was going to say
accident.
Some things don't calculate there, but okay.
Right. So I knew right then that's who I was dealing with.
Let's just put the window up. Yeah.
Didn't get out of the car.
Understood.
Trooper showed up in less than 2 minutes. Thank goodness. The whole time, the guy's laying right on the shoulder, leaning under his truck, fiddling with the truck. It wasn't that hard of a hit. He's getting tools out. He's literally not acting sanely.
Right.
I'm surprised the cop didn't test him for
down,
something, or maybe he did. But sergeant comes up, exchanges information.
Sure.
We're on our way.
Okay.
I don't.
Why?
There are crazy people out there, Will.
Yeah. A lot of them.
And what if that was Logan?
Right.
Or your son one day or daughter? There's no reason for it.
Nope.
And he was endangering people to begin with, and then he hits me and then curses me out and calls me the N-word when clearly neither of us were black.
Correct.
I don't, not that it matters, but it's the vernacular. There's so many things wrong with that guy.
Right. There was just a lot. There was a lot happening.
So that's it. That's my bullet point.
Okay.
All right. Just some thoughts I had to get off my back.
Understood.
Anything you have?
We talked a little bit about the accident. I didn't tell the story, but I kind of had a similar situation.
Please go ahead if you care to.
Quickly, I will talk about it. On the way to work, just like you, a couple days after you had gotten hit, on my street going down to the back roads that I take to avoid traffic.
Log Cabin Drive?
Sure.
Okay. I just drove on that, getting to BLG Studios one today.
Beautiful drive.
Loved it. I was behind a van, however.
Oh.
Service van.
Okay.
18 miles an hour. That's why it took me so long to get here.
That's tough.
But go ahead.
All 12 minutes.
Sorry, my story.
Anyway. Slowed down. came to a stop to let somebody pull out because it's busy in the morning. I know it's tough to get out of your side street. So
you were on a more main road and being kind to someone on a side street.
I was just trying to let somebody pull out in front of me from across the.
That doesn't surprise me a bit. Will.
Oh my gosh! This is why I don't talk to you.
No, I'm just paying you a compliment. I think you'd appreciate it.
Anyway, I come to a stop, and we're only going 12 miles an hour. You know what I mean? We're already creeping, and so it's barely on my.
Was that?
On my bumper, and nowhere to pull over right then. So I let the person pull out, and then I'm pointing to there's a gas station up the road. So I start to point to the gas station, and I put my blinker on. I turn to the gas station. Really, if there was no damage to my car, I was just going to say, let's carry on about our business.
And here's the truth. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Everybody knows if you hit somebody in the rear,
it is your fault. Correct.
No matter what.
You were following too close.
So this person knows it's their fault.
So this is what after he hit me, I was on the phone with my mom and my father, and we were just chatting about, I don't even remember. He hits me. I see him in the rear view on his cell phone before he hits me as we're driving with his daughter.
Talking or like thumping?
This.
Okay.
With his daughter in the passenger seat, by the way.
Yeah, great example.
And hits me, and it's the immediate, what? Okay. I was still going to be very nice when I got out. And like I said, if nothing happened in the truck, I was just going to move on. And
a question I like to ask and have not asked in 12 episodes. Did you get a glimpse at him?
Yeah.
Celebrity that he most resembles. Somebody, give me a kind of a description of what he looks like. And maybe an approximate age of his daughter, like young daughter, old enough to be in the front seat.
Either late elementary school or early middle school.
Okay.
White guy.
Okay. I mean,
maybe a little older than I was. Black hat. Nope. Okay. T-shirt, gray T-shirt, black hat.
Okay. All right, that's good. I was just trying to think
who.
That's okay. I always like getting a visual. So,
okay.
But
so,
intellectual
white guy,
looking
black
guy,
hat. Didn't see.
Guy?
Nope, not trashy looking guy.
Okay.
Had himself
nice
together,
guy.
but
nice car. Like at least not a junkster.
I don't know the year. It was a Corolla.
But somebody who's obviously moderately successful in life and has no reason to be
correct.
Right.
So, sorry, this was supposed to be a short story. Point over to the gas station.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I point in, I turn in. He puts his blinker on. So I start turning in, and zoom, takes off. Do you want that again? Zoom.
Yeah. That might add a sound effect of cars.
Okay. Yeah. Flies down the road, doesn't turn in, and only got a partial plate.
Nice.
And why?
Because he was late to drop his daughter off, maybe.
Okay.
I'm just making up excuses. B, he's a jerk. C, he doesn't want to take responsibility for his actions.
Okay.
Because he was on his phone. D, because he doesn't care about setting a good example for his daughter.
Yeah, I guess not. The whole rest of the way to work, I was just thinking, like, I would never.
No.
Why are people?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
By the way, and the last thing we should say in bullet points is that we think we made a mistake on our last episode. I just thought of this. This is not on my list. We made a huge error by having your brother on.
Yeah, that was tough.
Because we know.
I know.
There is no chance anyone is going to think this episode is any good after that episode.
I know.
So we apologize right now.
I'm sorry.
We know this stinks.
I'm sorry.
If you want to skip to the end, we understand.
Yeah.
All right. That's bullet points.
All right. Excellent job.
So we'll go to segment 2.
Here we go.
All right. Class lists. This one should be fun. It's a lot of us talking this week.
Yeah.
Not as much gaming. We have a game at the end.
Yeah, we do.
Everybody has a price, and we're going to change the strategy a little bit. But this is class list. And we're going to argue about, or maybe we'll agree, about the 10 most overrated movies of all time.
Okay.
I found a website that has a bunch of funny lists or interesting lists.
I really don't want this to make me mad.
Well, if you
know
understand that the guy that hit you voted on this website, then you already know.
I'm done. I'm out.
You already know that he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So people like that voted and picked these movies as the most overrated. So let's get right into it. I was going to do, that was a weird sound. I was going to do 10 to 1. It was almost a deep breath and almost a speak at the same time.
Okay.
No, not a burp. I was going to do 10 to 1.
Okay.
But there's maybe we'll breeze through the 15 to 10 real quick, and then we'll
honorable
get to
mentions.
yes.
Okay, I won't say a whole lot about them then.
Honorable mention 15, Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
I don't even think that should be in the top. I guess it's in the top overrated because it did get a tremendous amount of hype.
But it wasn't supposed to.
Wasn't supposed to
do that well.
You're right.
So I don't. Okay.
Maybe it shouldn't be overrated.
I'm not going to talk about a lot.
Did you find it funny?
Thought it was comical, yeah.
Okay.
I was also very young when it came out. Not very young, but I was also young when it came out.
It took me 2 or 3 times to get into the humor because it's a little...
I get it.
So it's sort of a cult movie, I think.
Gotcha.
All right. 14 is Star Wars 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
I think it's a great movie.
I'm not going to say anything because I told you I wouldn't argue.
I don't know if any of the Star Wars movies can really be overrated.
Agreed.
Other than the first 3, but nobody says they're good.
Right.
So, all right. Number 13, be prepared to be upset. Oh, and I'm going to be upset too. Jordan Peele's first movie, Get Out. And you know why I think people aren't smart enough to get what he did in the movie. And that's why they think it's overrated.
I'm not going to argue. That's wrong.
What I said is wrong?
No, that being on that list.
Correct.
Any of his other movies, maybe.
I'm sitting here now getting goosebumps, remembering
some of the stuff.
The scene when is it the gardener or the groundskeeper?
Groundskeeper
that
runs
and the way he runs is so I'm serious.
Yeah.
The way he runs towards the
unnerving.
main character, I'm not good at remembering the names, but and if you really think about that movie at the depth it was thought about when it was planned, there's no way you can call it overrated.
Agree.
All right, let's keep on.
Okay.
We agree. That's the people are wrong. Star Wars 4: A New Hope, the first Star Wars. Again, no need to talk.
Nope.
11.
Oh gosh.
I don't want to tell you. Feel free, take 30 seconds or a minute if you need it.
I won't.
The Dark Knight. I know. Here's a quote.
There's no way.
The irony of this film, I like to infuriate you, so let me read you
There's
this.
No way.
The irony of this film is that it received so much hype for things that it wasn't. Dark, gritty, unpredictable, intellectual, realistic, groundbreaking, philosophical, and a work of art. What were the fans of this movie on when they saw this movie?
Okay.
So
that I'm not going to argue about it, but there's no way that is on this list.
I've not seen it, but I've heard everybody said Heath Ledger's is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I need you to watch Batman Begins and then The Dark Knight.
Was this
The
his
Dark Knight Rises.
final movie?
Yeah,
I thought so.
I don't even know if he finished the movie.
Okay, they might have had to piece things together to make it.
I think somebody else at the very end played. I think
Okay.
I have to read.
I knew it was right around the time that he passed away.
Wow, that's just bad.
Number 10, haven't seen this.
Here we
now
go.
we're into the
top 10. Here we go.
The top 10.
Mm-hmm.
La La Land. Haven't seen
Okay.
it. Don't know.
I think it's love it or hate it.
I've heard people love the music of it the most.
Yeah, I think
but
it's a love-hate movie.
So let's move on. Number 9, The Hunger Games.
Really? I wonder.
I've read the book before watching the movie, and I can say I was very disappointed as one of the comments. So maybe compared to the book,
so I didn't.
Would let people
I
down.
watched the series, didn't read the series.
I didn't read them either.
So maybe
I don't like to read. I hate to read. But
maybe
I know
that's
it
the
makes me
case
sound
then.
stupid.
Maybe it didn't stay true to the story.
Such shaky camera, and the characters are dull, stiff, and simple. I mean, Katniss is very boring, and she has no personality. It drives me crazy.
Oh wow, I'm not gonna say all that.
Yeah,
but
these are just comments that people have.
I guess I could see a little bit of it, but I didn't think it was bad by any stretch.
Can I tell you, the first time I watched the movie, it upset me.
Which part?
The idea that there could ever exist a society, like the idea of sending children to fight to the death.
Yeah, that's sad.
It was as a sport,
right?
Or well, I mean, I know it's as a punishment,
right.
But that people would embrace this because all the people in the main city, when they bring them all in, are cheering and we're betting on it. It's like a sport.
It is.
Now, I guess it's no different than gladiators, except for the fact that they're children.
Right.
But wow, that really viscerally had me a little upset at first. I didn't care for that. All right. And one other person wrote, my general statement after seeing this movie was, who cares?
Wow. Okay. I feel like that's
a little
aggressive.
Harsh. Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No. Number 8, The Wizard of Oz. Do people say this is a great movie?
I've never heard that.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
know
one
it's
every year.
And I know it's supposed to be iconic, but
Yeah, supposedly some symbolism, and there's some life sort of, you always have the heart, you always had the courage, you always had the...
but I've never heard anybody say this is my favorite movie ever.
No, I'm going to recycle one of your jokes. The one character that I thought did well was the Scarecrow. He was outstanding in his field. That was your joke from about 5 podcasts ago, so I'm using it back against
That's
you.
fine.
Number 7.
You said you didn't like that joke.
It's cute. I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it's cute.
Okay.
7. I'm going to rely on you. One I haven't seen, Twilight.
Oh, I am not. Okay.
You think this one gets rightfully placed?
For me personally, I just don't love the series.
So if you were voting, you would, but it did get tremendous hype.
It did.
Whose team are you? Team what? Bob or team Josie?
Edward or Jacob.
Okay. Whatever it is. I didn't watch it. I'm not into vampires.
So I know my wife and my sister-in-law were huge fans of Twilight when it came out. I, on the other hand, I went and saw the last one in theaters with them because they asked me to go, but I am not. It doesn't do anything for me.
Me neither.
But I know a lot of people say that about Harry Potter.
And it got tremendous hype. So I could agree with this. I mean, I didn't see it, but I have a feeling if I did, I would agree that what's all the hubbub?
Hubbub.
Number 6. Can't disagree more on this one.
Oh,
love the movie. Forrest Gump.
Really?
You didn't like it?
No, I love that movie. How is that on this list?
I don't know. I think it is a cute movie. The first quote, this is the most absolutely horrendously stupid film I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so these people just don't know what they're talking about then.
My very first girlfriend was named Jenny. Every time, Jenny, why don't you love me, Jenny? And it was just, that brought me back. It brought me back to just, first, I love the setting in the South.
Okay.
I love that, the antebellum homes with the big Spanish moss and the trees and the maybe magnolia. I'm not sure what trees they are, but I love the setting of it. I love the idea that not that kids were treated differently who were different, but how far we've come in a lot of ways, like from what kids had to go through back then. And, but I also love the ingenuity of the directors or writers of how they incorporated so many, I'm not going to come up with the right words here, so many pop culture references that they attribute to Forrest Gump in the movie. Like the smiley face, have a happy day or whatever, or when the mud splashes, or like so many things that he did in the movie supposedly is what spawned them in pop culture. And I thought that was really creatively done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little hacky when they edit in Nixon and that kind of scenes, but some of that was quite funny. And if you take it that way, I don't think it was.
I don't think it was overrated either.
Number 5, The Lion King.
The original Lion King?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're going to get upset with me.
Probably not.
It's one of my favorite Disney movies ever.
Okay.
I can understand why people think it's overrated.
Okay.
I love the movie.
Yes.
But it's been done before.
Okay.
And
can you elaborate on
no.
That? Okay.
But no.
Number 4.
But it is Hamlet with animals.
So here's where you're going to expose me. Never read Hamlet.
Okay, it's irrelevant. That part
but
doesn't
you're
matter.
Saying the general motif of overthrowing someone, getting the power, evil is a trope that's been.
I think maybe I don't feel this way. I'm saying I think maybe people feel like it's overrated because it was already done and they just used it and then made animals out of it. I don't know.
Yes,
but that's just my thought process on why they think it's overrated. I don't think it's overrated.
But Whoopi Goldberg is the hyena, though. I mean, she's funny.
Okay.
She's funny.
She is.
The way they cackle. I love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 4, Will. I'm going to get up and leave for about 10 minutes.
Oh, gosh. Don't upset me, Dirk.
No, I didn't read you all these. I know you the first. We stopped at 10, I think.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
When I kind of previewed.
Mentions. Yep.
But I wanted to save these to get your honest reaction in the moment. I'm going to say 2 words. I'm going to cross my arms or fold my hands so I don't hit my microphone, and then I'm going to let you rant.
Really, just don't make me upset.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not.
I'm going to lean back because I'm not going to have to do anything for about 2 minutes.
Describe the movie first. Don't tell me what it is.
It is a Marvel movie.
If you
I'm going to say it.
If you say Endgame,
it's not Endgame.
Okay. If you say Infinity War, that's worse.
It's not Infinity War.
Okay, well then let's hear it then.
I don't think so. You're not going to like it. It's Black
Panther. Really? That's interesting.
I can't comment because I haven't seen the Marvel movies.
Understood.
But I know that you love the movie. I'm guessing it has a lot of symbolism to any Black audience, but maybe especially young. Am I wrong to assume that because of the character and the whole idea?
But that character's been around for a long time. But read me one of the quotes and let's hear what they had to say. I
loved Black Panther. I also love what the movie did and continues to do for the Black community. It will always be legendary for that. I also love the movie's villain.
Okay, that's just a right. I'm not racist, but here's my comment.
For the Black community, would a Black person say for the Black community? They might.
Maybe.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out who this person is.
Right.
But I feel like we never really got a sense of who Black Panther was. When you consider the other Marvel characters in intro movies, we got a lot better background stories into who they were.
We found everything out about it. I don't understand that. They didn't see it.
I think a lot of people forget that it's not top 10 worst movies, but simply overrated. Black Panther was hyped up so much for me to the point that watching it felt like a letdown. I still enjoyed the movie. It just wasn't as good as some other Marvel movies.
So I can't argue with that. If that's how you feel. Like if you
thought
it was
people were called racist for not liking this movie. If most people either hate a movie or think that it's overrated, the main characters being Black won't be the reason. If someone wasn't going to a movie because of the ethnicity of the main characters, then they wouldn't watch the movie at all. Also, wouldn't it be a different form of racism to praise a movie because the main characters are Black? Okay. That would be overrating the film.
So I generally look at Rotten Tomatoes score and audience score. When Rotten Tomatoes score and audience score are close together, I mean, a few points off here and there, but if they're pretty close, then I don't understand how you think it's overrated.
Not sure. By the way, since we're not playing the Rotten Tomatoes game, but just a quick Google search.
Game. Love Flick Picks.
Tomato meter has Black Panther at 96%.
Okay.
The audience score is at 79.
Okay.
So there is a disparity.
There is a little bit
of a difference. 15 points between one and the other. But anyway. All right. So moving forward.
Wow, that is surprising me. I honestly thought when you said two words, I thought you were going to say Iron Man.
Oh.
And I was really going to freak out. Black Panther.
Did Iron Man get as much hype as Black Panther?
No.
Okay.
So maybe that's why.
I mean, Black Panther was even in Fortnite.
Yes. Also was Iron Man.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But we're not going to get on to Marvels. Here we go.
Frozen, number 3. The animated Frozen. I love the music, but
yeah, I think I can agree. Of all the movies so far on the list, maybe I agree with that one.
Because kids went ape for Idina Menzel, or as John Travolta says, Adele Nazim. And that song "Let It Go" was just overplayed.
Yeah, so I can
like crazy.
I can get that part.
Number 2.
Okay,
we're getting down to the real important ones here. I have not seen number 1. I have seen number 2. Okay. Number 2 is about this ship that made a ill-fated voyage.
Oh God, we got Titanic
with Jack and Rose in Titanic.
Okay.
I love Titanic. I'm a sap for it. Not for the love story, but for the cinematography, maybe. Just all the special effects of how they created this ship that was so beautiful and how they sink it. The water scenes in that, I just not just when they're floating on the door.
I know what you mean.
And that redheaded woman pushes him to his death.
That's terrible.
Like the door was big.
They both could have got on that door.
She didn't want Jack anymore. She wanted to go back to her cushy lifestyle with Andy Garcia. Anyway, when they do the scenes under deck and the lower decks when the water's flooding in, that's intense.
I don't like it.
I don't either. And when they're pinched against the gate.
Yeah, stop.
And they drop the keys.
It gives me gives me the willies. I know.
So I love it for that. I love it for the idea of that boat raising up and you see the special effects of the people just falling, jumping, sliding down the deck.
Can you imagine? That'd be
I can't.
Crazy.
And I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but
please insult.
You haven't seen. You're gonna give me that look. You haven't seen Dark. until you've been out on the ocean at night, especially if there's no stars out, if it's a cloudy. Like Woods Dark is dark.
No, there's nothing. I don't know if there's anything like...
Maybe Luray Caverns when they turn off the lights.
Okay.
I've been in Luray Caverns when they go, and here's what it is like with the lights off. And literally you can do this and you can't see.
So there's a whole section on Dig Dog that you can just go on and look at people on cruise ships or anything, and just oil tank when they're out in the middle of the ocean and they turn lights off.
Yes.
It's like there's nothing.
Well, the power went out at our school the other day.
Yeah.
And for maybe a minute and a half. Yeah. And I was in my room has no windows.
Yeah.
And
dark.
Couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So Titanic. But I kind of like it. Maybe it was overrated because it really was
top 3. I think top 3 grossing movie of all time.
Maybe so.
I'm pretty sure.
And number 1 is Avatar.
Top 3 grossing movie of all time. I could see that as well.
Yeah. I've not seen it. So I've heard everybody. Oh, so there was a huge. You should watch it.
Yeah,
and that's
it was a spectacle. I think the second one was even more of a spectacle visually.
It was more because of the creative James Cameron design. Right?
I think so.
By the way, interesting. Avatar and Titanic, both James Cameron, right? Wasn't Titanic James Cameron?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not sure, but I think.
Yeah, I could see that one being overrated. I won't argue too much on that one. I know visually it was appealing to people, but I guess the story, there wasn't much to the story. Pocahontas.
Directed, written, produced, and co-edited by James Cameron. Titanic. So they're both James Cameron. Maybe James Cameron just needs to tone down his.
I guess
his PR.
He's overrated.
Maybe.
All right.
Anyway. All right. Well, that's our top 10.
Top 10. Done. Yeah.
Are there any? We didn't plan this ahead, so I don't. Are any movies you pop into your head as people always rave about them, but you don't get it? It's okay if we can't think of something in 30 seconds.
I would have to think. I would have to think.
I'm trying to think what movies do people go, oh my gosh, you've got to see. I don't know. I have to think about that. Maybe we could come up with our own list of overrated movies in the future. All right, moving on to segment number 3.
Trace.
Chalk Talk.
Jog Dog.
Yeah. Thanks for bearing with us, audience. We know it's a little bit more talking and stuff this time. Yeah. So, but Chalk Talk, we want to talk about a topic that Will brings to me often. You bring it to me often. I'll kind of introduce it, and then I'll turn you loose. Our insignificance in the world as it corresponds to our size compared to the world, our size compared to the universe, our planet compared to the universe.
Yeah.
You often show me pictures of things that I never really considered before.
Right.
And thanks to you, I now really give it a lot of thought about the distance between here and the sun, here and the moon, here and another planet, here and these pictures we're getting now from these various telescopes of galaxies, of skies filled with galaxies far away from us that we never saw before.
Light years away.
And we started talking the other day that this might be something interesting just for people to sort of open their minds to the idea. I was never really an alien guy, come on.
Stupid.
But the older I get, the more I realize how arrogant it is to think that we would be the only planet in all of these universes, galaxies, that could possibly be hospitable to life.
Right.
And also, what if we were on a planet that was 300 degrees, but somehow Darwinism, a creature had figured out how to live in 300 degrees? We're assuming that it has to be like Earth, but that's only if it's people that are like us.
Right.
What if there is another creature out there? So let me just start it there. We talked about our insignificance, the scale of our world.
Well, I think that's where it started, right?
Yeah,
we were really just talking about
a grain of sand. We are a grain of sand on the beach.
I think we often talk about, not that work doesn't matter, but we let things at work bother us. And I think that's kind of how it got started, is just like when you really think about the grand scheme of things and where we are on this floating rock in this universe.
Right.
What
difference do we make?
What really matters?
Right. And also, you think about that. I mean, like I say, second time I've mentioned my age, but as I get older,
50,
and thank you.
Yeah.
And having lost my dad, everybody loses people, and that starts to make you think. My dad got 3 months' notice. He got a diagnosis of cancer, and 3 months later he was gone.
Not fair.
That's how quick it can change.
Right.
And some people even quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, on the way home from work, or, a heart attack.
Yeah.
So when you start thinking about and this world doesn't even, how many people are going to know when you go, okay, if I die tonight, I would like to think there might be 100 people come to my funeral or
Right.
my viewing or send a card, but 100, even 100 people.
Right.
How many people in this world are not going to even have a clue I ever existed?
Right.
And so you start thinking about that, and you go, now maybe we have a little bit of an advantage as teachers. We'll have a lot of students that might remember us, but that's still not a drop in the bucket.
It's just still so insignificant.
Yeah.
And you really just, if you stand outside
mm-hmm.
and just look up at night
mm-hmm.
and just look at all the stars. If you're in a place where you can see stars,
mm-hmm.
I know, when you're in the city, you can't see a ton. So here's where it really hit me. When we were in Montana.
Mm-hmm. Big sky country.
That's what they call it. And you look up and it looks so different than it does. And I can see stars here.
Right.
Where we are.
Correct.
And even when I look up in the sky here, that's nothing compared to what I saw in Montana. And then you start to think, like, each one of those
is a rock probably larger than us.
Like, it freaks me out a little bit.
Right. I get that because you realize how much you don't know. And that's scary.
Yes.
And
same thing with the ocean.
Right. We talked about that before.
I know we're talking about space right now, but same thing with the ocean. Just
You're
how
right, though.
Scary that is that we only know 7% of what's in the ocean. We've only explored 7% of the ocean. That's weird. To me.
Weird and
terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else could be out there? And what's down there? And it freaks me out.
For me, it's mostly, I'm a checkbox guy. I like to have a list and I like to check off my boxes.
Check them off,
like
baby.
When we play video games,
gotta check
I'm the
those
only
boxes.
guy that cares about, hey, we have a quest to do this or that. You're like, let's just play. And I'm like, but I gotta open 3 more chests. I'm a checkbox guy. So for me, exploring the ocean and knowing the other 93% of what's down there isn't really about fear for me as much as it's about, I got to reveal the map.
Right.
I got to see. I want to know.
Oh,
I don't like not knowing.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is I want to know as well. But does it not? It doesn't freak you out at all that you don't know? Or even with the space thing, does it not freak you out at all that we are that insignificant? Like that freaks me out that we're that insignificant.
So here's when it freaks me out.
But it's not.
Here's when it freaks me out. There's an old movie, the older crowd that's watching will know this, Animal House.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it or not. Okay. John Belushi, way back in the day. Okay. Very funny and appropriate movie about college fraternity. There's a scene in there where Donald Sutherland, I think, the actor, plays this professor.
Young guy.
And they're there getting, smoking the aforementioned marijuana.
Okay.
And they're talking about, and one of the lines, I don't quote the movie, but one of the lines is, so you're saying that our whole universe could be just one cell in the fingernail of a larger being.
Right.
Very heady and pot infused. But what if?
I know.
What if?
You don't know.
No, we don't. Because we can only see from our vantage point.
And going back to the alien thing, sorry, I'm jumping around.
No, it's okay.
I start thinking about stuff.
I know. I love talking to you about this because you are way more knowledgeable than anybody would ever think. And you're almost not embarrassed by it, but you don't.
I don't necessarily.
Because you think people are going to think you're weird. Right. But you're not weird. It's fascinating.
I'm not talking about aliens like we see in movies. But it's kind of like what you said. It's just like, why would we think there aren't other life forms on other planets? Why would we think that? Trillions and trillions of other galaxies.
It's an arrogance.
It is. If it takes however long to get across our galaxy, have you ever seen one of those videos that I sent you where it shows you how long it would take just to cross the Milky Way galaxy?
Correct. And now we're seeing galaxies that
like hundreds of thousands of years just to get across ours.
Right.
It might be more than that. I can't remember exactly what it said.
And then the distance between ours and the next one.
Right.
And then those that we're seeing are measurably larger than ours.
And those pictures I sent you from the James Webb Telescope, where all those spots are just other galaxies.
You know what I feel more than weirded out, or whatever the term was you used? Frustrated.
Okay.
or as our former principal used to say,
frustrated. Okay.
Because I want to know.
Yes, I would love that. Would be awesome, and we will never.
Well,
I don't think
now let me ask
lifetime.
you this, and I'll take a left turn here because it popped into my head. How does this jive with religion? Without getting into a heavy topic, because I know we didn't want to talk a lot about the touchy subjects.
In terms of,
does that change anything? Would the God that I know you and I believe in be the same God for the life forms on every other planet?
Like, I know that's
kind of a weird thing. You go, well, wait, we have the Bible,
right?
Do they have a Bible? You know, like it's almost the same as different religions around our own world,
right?
Like they have their book, we have our book. Like, well, ours says it's right. Well, theirs says theirs is right. You know, it's like, what if, you know? So it's like, there's already this dichotomy of like, how do we deal with science versus religion, and how do we deal with our own complete? And this is where, to wrap it all back into a nice package, when we got back to talking about school, this is why a kid running in the hallway, I will say, hey, slow down.
Right.
But I'm not going to be like some of the teachers that
will
make veins pop out.
Good Lord.
To figure out who that kid is, write them up, make sure they come for a 10-minute lesson. In the scheme of the whole world, do you think the people on the planet Zutron, in 47 Milky Way galaxies over from ours, do you think they're yelling at their kids for running in the hallway, Will? No, you know what they're doing?
47 Milky Way galaxies.
Yeah. They're not worrying about their kids running in the hallway. They're not
in the hallway, and that's why we're not either.
No.
So,
anything else? There's so much more.
There is so much more.
Maybe we'll revisit.
We can, and I know I don't want to talk and be long-winded, but there's it just makes you really think.
I agree.
And if anybody gets time to look at those pictures from the telescope,
and please, actually, right here would be a great time. You can send me a couple.
Yeah,
you know where to look because you're into that.
Yeah, I'll
send me a couple and I'll put them in here just so people can kind of see
the vastness
what we're talking
of
about.
Space.
Yeah,
and how it's just never ending.
It's fast.
And still forever expanding.
I also think a lot of people don't think about it because they can't. They can't comprehend it. I can't either.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't comprehend
it. And I mean, without trying to be, we're intelligent people. Moderately.
Okay.
Would you give me partially?
I will give you very intelligent.
Oh, no, you're intelligent too.
There we go.
But even you get frustrated because you can't figure it out.
I know.
And I don't like not knowing.
Same thing. We won't get into it, but same thing when I hear these theories about ancient civilizations.
We've talked.
And
that's going to be on the future podcast because it's fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah. Pyramids?
Yes. And Easter Island heads.
Yes.
And how they're now discovering that they're buried under, it's not just heads, that their bodies are buried under the ground and they are huge. It's just,
yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yes, we will.
Sorry.
No, I love it.
I know.
Because I never dove into this pond.
Right.
And you've kind of, hey, come on in, the water's great.
Right.
And I'm actually enjoying challenging my brain on how I have that time now.
Yeah.
I have the mindset now to actually embrace some abstract thought.
If nothing else, it's just interesting to think about the what ifs.
Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
Bigfoot.
Sure, Dirk. You don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. You know, ironically, my buddy who works in Florida in the Everglades that we talked about before.
Yeah.
Huge believer in Bigfoot.
Okay. Some people are.
And I'm not knocking him.
Bigfoot, yes or no?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Let us know.
For the two of you still watching.
I mean, I have a Bigfoot.
Okay.
But size 14.
Wow, that is a large foot.
It is a large foot. But I'm also almost 6'4", so
okay, fair enough.
Works. All right. Well, that's it. Oh, one last question.
What's up?
Maybe we'll save it. You mentioned this to me. What would happen if our Earth shifted just a little bit off its axis? Or just a little bit out of orbit? You brought that up to me, and I never thought about what if something just 2 degrees? How much would our world change as we know it?
I know.
Or would it just burn up? Or would it just freeze us out?
We're
worried about like 1 degree with the weather, and like
we are perfectly aligned to where we need to be
to sustain life. What if the gravitational pull of the sun has gravity on us, right?
That's why we're orbiting it.
So what if the gravitation of the sun was reduced by 2%? We would drift out into a wider orbit and what? Freeze to death?
That would suck.
Ice age?
That would suck.
I mean, you're right. But it's not like somebody, well, I guess again, depends on the religious. it's not like somebody controlled the Earth and put it like a human.
I know what you mean, though.
So in another galaxy, there could be a planet who just happens to be the right distance to sustain life.
That I would be willing to bet that out of all the galaxies, there's probably several.
So anyway, all right, let's move on.
Let's move on.
Segment 4.
Okay.
Everybody has a price.
They do. I learned that.
We played this game once before. This is the game, of course, where we give each other undesirable things and we argue about how cheaply we would do these undesirable things. Now, we thought it was fun to come up with different ones for each of us, but that's not competitive, and we like nothing better than to be competitive.
A little bit, at least.
So here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
I invited Becky, one of our fellow teachers who loves to... is there anything important on here? No. Loves to listen to our podcast and is one of the most upbeat, happy...
She's just awesome.
Lovely people I've ever met. Brings light into every room she enters.
Absolutely.
And she's always busy because she volunteers to do everything.
Yep.
And as the saying goes, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Yep.
So I asked Becky if she would please write us some undesirable things on cards.
Okay.
So I have not seen these. You have not seen these.
I have not seen those.
And what we're going to do is use the same ones. We thought this would make it more fun.
Right.
We will write down using our whiteboards how much for each job, whatever the task is.
Okay.
But our goal is going to be, realistically, write down the cheapest price that you would do this for.
So just be honest. I'm not going to write $5 for each.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
And whoever has the lowest price at the end wins.
Okay.
And it'll be we're going to hurt ourselves a little because we're not going to want to do it for this price.
Right.
But we're like bidding the job out.
Agreed.
And then in the end, we'll just go over what we have to do.
So whatever I write down, that's my price I have to stick to.
That's the price you stick to. And I will write down my price as well. So here are the cards. I'm not going to look. And she wrote us more than we'll need today. Would you like to do 5?
5 is fine.
Okay. Here's our first one.
Okay.
And she was nervous. She said, I'm worried. I don't know if I came up with the right things for you guys. It's like, what are you going to mess up? It's a podcast and we just started. So, you're not going to mess it up worse than we do.
Nope.
All right. Okay. Spend 30 minutes in a room with 200 rats.
I don't like that.
It doesn't specify how big the room is, but let's just, for purposes of the game, let's say a bedroom size.
And it's so
200 rats. That's going to pretty much cover the floor.
Yeah, so they're going to be crawling on us.
And not mice.
No, these are big honking rats.
And rats bite. I don't know if there's furniture in the room, whether we can get up off the floor. Can rats climb? They can climb pretty well, right?
Yeah.
So you're probably not going to be able to avoid. Let's say there's no way to avoid being amongst them.
And they're going to be climbing on you.
They're going to be betwixt our legs, betwixt our feet.
I can move. I don't have to sit in a chair, and I can move, correct?
You can move.
Okay, because that does make a difference to me.
I agree. It's not like the cat punishment in Practical Jokers where they tie you down and the mice climb over.
So I can get up out of my chair.
30 minutes in a room with 200 rats. 200 rats.
But we don't have anything with us. It's just us, our person.
She doesn't specify. Let's just say what she's got.
Our person. Okay. Wow. 30 minutes.
I have to imagine, I have to put myself there mentally to know how bad that's going to be.
Oh, the sound. I would not like the sound or the smell.
You didn't have to say that.
I know, but that's one of the things that I don't want.
The sound will be worse than the smell.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
All right. 30 minutes.
30 minutes. How much would it take for 30 minutes?
All right. I got my price. Please to be letting me know when you're ready, and we shall reveal.
Is it worth it for this? You're going to be lower than I am, but
I don't know if I am.
I really don't want to do this.
Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, reveal. Oh, I was.
Yeah, it would take.
Okay.
That would take a lot.
So I got 250.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do it for less than 5. I don't think.
All right.
That 30 minutes would feel like a day.
I'm hoping. Rats don't generally bother me, but I'm sure that...
I don't think they... I think I would prefer them over some other animals. I think it's just the fact that, like you said, they bite.
Yeah.
And I don't like rodents.
You have to keep moving.
I don't like rodents.
Okay, fair. Rodents don't...
I know.
There are a lot of other things that I wouldn't want to spend.
Agreed.
And we agreed, for purposes of the audience, we would go in like $25 increments or $50 increments. What do you think? 50? 25?
25.
25. Okay. Number 2. Becky, great job on the first one. That's a perfect example of the kind of thing we're talking about. And I think it's better because we don't get the preview. We don't get to think ahead.
Agreed. I like this.
Here we go. Number 2. Eat school breakfast and lunch for an entire year.
I don't like that.
Not necessarily terrible, except for the food's not good.
Yeah.
And who wants to do that? No Chick-fil-A.
All right.
No Panda. Eat school breakfast
that's
and
182
lunch.
days.
I'm assuming she means school year because obviously there's no summer.
That's what I said, 182 days of school.
A year, though.
I know, that's a long time.
That is a long time. A month would be, I could do that pretty cheap.
Yeah.
A year. Eat school breakfast and lunch for an entire year.
And you're thinking...
we both started talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't. I just thought it was funny. We were both thought for the exact amount of time. And then
10 months,
10
pretty
months.
much.
You get to go home and have whatever dinner you want, though.
That's nice.
And it doesn't say eat only, but I'm going to assume that...
That's what that means.
Yeah. You can't bring your own lunch. You can't go out for lunch. You can't bring a breakfast in.
Tough for 10 months to eat that.
And our food, not the worst.
No,
not hospital
also
food,
not the best.
And not enough variety for a whole year.
So I think my thought process is, how much would it take to really just put myself through that misery? Because in the grand scheme, if I'm making... if I'm making 500, if I put 500 on here...
Oh, is that what you're going to put?
No. But if I put 500 on here, what is that really in 10 months? You know what I mean? That's an extra $500 in 10 months that I'm making.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I get it. Like, is the orange worth the squeeze, as my dad would say.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. My number was higher for this one because...
Agreed.
What's the point? It's all about the money.
Did you write yours down?
It's not about avoidance.
Okay, I'm writing mine down now.
All right, I'll go... What are you writing? How much are you writing?
I think I'm going to stick with... No.
Cross that out.
All right.
I'll go here.
10 seconds. Here we go.
All right. I got it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you got it. You're eating school lunch for $50 less.
$50 less.
All right. So you win that one. Would you please to be writing down? You won that one.
Yeah, I'll put a little tally.
I got a little $750. And then, or maybe we should keep track. What did you have? You had 700.
Yeah. And
what did you have for rats?
500.
500.
What are you keeping track of?
I was just going to keep track, so at the end we can.
Gotcha.
We can keep track. So you won with 700.
Yep.
And I won with 250. So I gotta spend the time with rats.
Bad.
All right, here we go. Number 3.
Okay.
That was another good one, Becky, because that's not terrible.
No, it's not. It's just how undesirable. Is it worth it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. An embarrassing one, for sure, to be sure. So the next one, this is funny. Perform a dance routine to the New Kids on the Block song, The Right Stuff, at a pep rally at Neilsville, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Do we need to discuss or?
No, I mean, I feel like that's pretty straightforward.
It is.
Pep rally, New Kids on the Block.
I'm ready if you are.
I am ready.
Okay.
That would not cost me any money.
Okay. You can have it.
That would not cost me a dime. If I had a couple people say, "Hey, I want to do this, and I really want you to be a part of it, and it's for the kids," then I would say,
"Oh, it's for the kids." Now you're going to make me look bad.
Listen, look, $750 to eat lunch there the whole year, but you won't do anything for the kids. That's fine. No, okay. That's not bad to me.
Here's why. Number one,
Becky. I'm not really doing it with you. If that was just a setup, no, I'm just kidding.
The first reason you don't mind dancing in front of the students is because you're
on what?
Good at dancing.
Oh, okay.
And you're very physically fit.
Oh, all right.
I, on the other hand, you don't want to see me dance.
I did not.
You don't want to see me jiggle.
I did not think it was going to be that much money when you put it up there. I did not think you were going to put 1,000.
I'm very ashamed of my body and how I look.
Okay.
And getting up in front of it, let me be honest, walking the hallways, I'm conscious of our kids looking at me and thinking,
okay.
Yeah. So, and in public and everywhere I go. So it's just something that people who are overweight understand.
Okay.
And when you're as overweight as I am, it's even worse. And
Okay.
it's with you 24/7. Well, probably not when I'm sleeping, but anytime I'm out in public. And so to get up in front of the students and expose, that's why one of my heroes, and this is serious, funny, and sad, I guess, at the same time. One of my heroes was Chris Farley.
Okay.
Because now I know some of that was cocaine infused probably, but when he did Chippendales, that would be, there is not enough money in the world for me to expose okay, but it would be a lot more zeros.
I know what you mean.
So I think that's why that would hold me back, just putting my body out there in front of all those students.
Fair enough.
So you got 0 for that.
Yeah, that would not.
He's in, Becky. Schedule it for next year.
Lock it in.
Welcome back, pep rally. All right, let me lay this down and go to the next one. Two more. Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Not a high price, I don't think, but a funny one.
Okay.
Be required to ask an additional 3 questions at the end of every staff meeting.
That is tougher than you think for me.
Because everybody's just ready to get out of there. Home. And they want to honor our time, but they always run long.
And
no, I can't say that. Our new meetings have been pretty on time. But nobody wants.
You worked with a former teacher that did this, and that stuck with you.
A former teacher that you're familiar with.
Correct.
Yes.
But that has stuck with you for how many years now? You still think about that and remember that.
She was hilarious. And also, when I first came to Neilsville, our very first principal there, Miss Ellis, who was a pretty strict, similar to what we have now, I think. Yeah. Probably closest. Strict, but fair.
Right.
But not nearly as personable as our principal now.
Okay, yeah.
Much more like when you walked in her office, if she wasn't expecting you, you got this.
Gosh.
It wasn't, hi, what can
right.
Right. None of that. Anyway, Miss Ellis, when she held a staff meeting, the very first thing my CT told me, Mr. Betts, when he hired me, Brian said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to our staff meeting." He said, at the end, when Dawn asks if you have any questions,
you don't have questions. Okay.
You have a question, ask me after.
Understood. Because
that was just, she didn't want questions, even though she said, anybody have a question?
Right.
She didn't want questions.
No. Okay, fair
enough. That teacher that we talked about loved.
Yeah, that I don't want to.
No shame
in her game. I don't want that to stick with people. Like, I don't. That's tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Every staff meeting.
Now, here's the thing. People are going to catch on.
Yeah.
People are going to be like,
why is he always asking these questions? You also have to come up with 3 questions that don't make you look dumb.
And can you ask all 3 with one hand raise?
That would be ideal.
Like, I'm sorry, I have three quick questions.
3 quick questions. Sorry, something flew by
my face. Or would you have to?
No.
I'm sorry.
It didn't stipulate, so I'm doing 3 in
3
one.
in one hand raise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Right. Okay. Do you have your number?
Oh, jeez. You figure we have one a month at least.
We have
about 10 a year.
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. You win.
Wow.
You win.
I could force myself to do it for that much, I think.
Correct.
But any less than that would be tough for me.
And force you shall, because you won. So next year, we're going to cough up $400.
Okay.
Betwixt us.
Betwixt you all.
And Becky, you're on the social committee usually, so we're going to collect, and Mr. Kelly will have to ask three questions at the end of every staff meeting.
That would suck.
$400.
It would suck.
But we would all be laughing. Anybody who watches the podcast would love it.
Would know it.
You would provide the entertainment
that
we would all enjoy. So anyway,
much better if I could do it throughout the meeting as opposed to at the end. But no, I understand that's why it sucks.
You would be the glass glown. And number 5.
Last one.
By the way, you're up 3-1, so I only have to do the rats. So this one, I'm unclear. Oh, maybe, between the two of us.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't say that, but I'm sure that's what she meant. Switch jobs for a week or a year. So, like, you'd have to teach band and I'd have to teach PE.
Okay.
You want to do a week? Because that's more realistic, I feel like. I don't think we could pull it off a whole year because I don't know what you do and you don't know what I do.
Okay.
In other words, that's almost not conceivable.
Right.
So let's do a week.
Okay. Switch jobs for a week.
Switch jobs for a week.
How much would that take?
I feel like this gives you an advantage.
Okay.
Because my classes are generally better behaved than the general population of classes.
Love that about your classes.
So that would be, but you don't like not knowing, and they're going to be like, Mr. Kelly, what are we doing? And you're not going to, like, I can fake teaching basketball.
You know what I'm going to do? We're going right to those music books, and we're clapping rhythms, baby. We are clapping those rhythms for a week.
Whenever you come into my room, you'd see me clapping rhythms with the kids.
We are clapping rhythms.
Switching for a week. How much do you demonstrate the techniques to the students?
Each task that you do, you got to demonstrate.
Okay.
I guess technically you don't have to. You can have a student demonstrate. I do that sometimes too. Okay.
All right. Jobs. Okay. All right.
Nobody knows we're doing this but us, right? In the school, we
just start. Well, I mean, we could explain it. We're switching for money. It doesn't say secretly or we can't tell people. It just says we have to switch jobs.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think that would be hard.
No.
I wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like the not knowing what I was doing.
I understand.
And having the students be like, Mr. Kelly, why are we not doing anything?
Right.
I'd be like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Whereas I think I could fake PE better.
You probably could.
I could probably fake it better because, I mean, I know a little bit about different sports.
Yeah.
And I could
I don't know much about music.
And really, in your class, I could tell them what to practice and turn them loose.
Right.
Because, okay, practice dribbling, practice passing. I kind of know enough about it. I could maybe fake it for a week.
Yeah, I couldn't.
So yours was 400. So, in summary, I'm going to make $350.
Okay.
And for that $350, I am going to spend 30 minutes with rats.
I don't like that.
And teach PE for a week.
That doesn't sound bad.
For $1,100, you're going to make $1,100.
Okay.
You are going to enjoy school lunches and breakfasts for the entire year.
That's tough.
You're going to dance to New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And you're going to ask 3 questions at the end of every.
That is terrible. That might be the worst one.
So if we
everybody's just going to be so
we add all these up. The goal, actually, the real winner of the game was whoever would do all 5 cheapest. So let's add them up now. 7 and 5 is 12, and 4 is 16, and 4 is 2,000. So your total was $2,000.
Okay.
My total was 1,500. I can already tell mine's more. 1,500, 1,750, 1,850, 19, 2,600. So my total amount was $2,600. Your total amount was $2,000. Therefore, you win today's game.
Oh, yay.
And I would just like to say,
let me go.
You're up like 9-5 in that game.
It was tied.
It was, and you've gone on a tear.
Well, listen, the fourth quarter came around.
I understand. You rallied.
Clutch time, baby.
So Will has a victory here. All right, well, we hope you enjoyed that little round. Becky, thank you so much for putting those together. We won't reuse these, but we still have some more that she did for us. And Becky, when you have free time, I love this way of doing it. She came up with some great ideas.
Those are great.
So when you have time, Becky, in between teaching and writing all your reports and being a mother and a wife,
doing everything that you do,
being head of this committee and that committee,
right?
Pleased to be jotting more down, passing them along. These were right up the alley of what we needed. And so we appreciate them very much.
Absolutely.
And again, now it's time for Not News Miscues.
Okay.
We're not doing a News Miscues.
Right.
A thought of the week from A.A. Milne. And we're going to finish up with this. English author, poet, best known for his stories of, No. A.A. Milne? Winnie the Pooh. He was the guy who wrote all the Winnie the Pooh stories.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. His quote was, "You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." And I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit.
I don't.
So all of you people out there in listener land, please give yourself more credit. Believe in yourself more. And that's our thought of the week. We'd like to thank you for listening, watching. And from BLG, thanks to all the wonderful people here at BLG Studios.
All the wonderful folks.
All the wonderful, our production staff, our key grips,
editing,
sound, editing, lighting department. Everybody has been just fabulous here.
They have.
We don't deserve all the support we get.
No, we don't.
So, and speaking of support, we really, really do love the fact that you guys enjoy and listen, or at least listen, and comment. Please comment as much as you want. Let us know. Send us an email.
Absolutely, that helps.
Start the email sound and ring the bell and subscribe. We're so happy that people talk to us and say, hey, we liked it. We enjoyed it. So anyway, thank you very much. We'll see you next week for episode 13. We'll be teenagers. All right. Goodbye, everyone.